8 and 2. These players are actually live for top 8. Okay. Yeah.
I want Paul Conlin to win this tournament.
Oh, man.
This deck is so nice.
Get your Sibsig Muck Draggers now.
Pull them out of your bulk box.
Turn 1, Faithless Looting from Paul. So right now, off Copperline Gorge, you think, oh, this guy's just playing Dredge. I get it. Then he discards Bridge from Below and Vengevine, and you're like, oh my.
The combo's online.
Oh my. Okay, so for those of you who maybe don't play older formats, we're going to take a look at exactly what Bridge from Below does here. And, okay, ignore the mana cost. That's just...
Never cast this card.
Don't
it's
cast it. It doesn't do anything.
Happen.
When it's in his graveyard, and it is now, whenever a creature is put into Paul's graveyard, he will get a 2/2 zombie. A non-token, so the zombies don't make more zombies.
Right.
The only way Nick can get rid of this is if a creature hits the graveyard on Nick's side, then the bridges all get exiled, which is going to be hard because Nick plays 4 creatures total. Snapcaster Mage and Vendilion Click are it.
Right. Now, notably, Paul discarded Vengevine on turn 1 there. If he had 2 0-mana creatures, he could have just set up on the first turn of the game.
He could have made zombie Vengevine hit swing for 4.
Right. So he's missing something here. He's going to try to set up.
Okay.
Likely he's casting a Grizzly Salvage or Gather the Pack, which should put him online.
You know, I registered Grizzly Salvage in my first modern, the deck I played at the first Modern Pro Tour. It was legal. It was really sweet for that tournament. I never played it again. I didn't. I'm in. Okay, this is great. Insolent Neonate from Paul. Okay, that'll make a zombie when he sacrifices it.
I hope he get. Oh, see, the cool thing about Neonate is you can use it and discard a Vengevine, then cast a second creature and get the Vengevine back.
So he discards and draws. Now he gets. I believe that means he gets a zombie token, right? He has to remember it if he's called for one. Yeah. All right, zombie. Okay, so we cast another creature. Endless One. He could cast it for 1, but he's going to cast it for 0.
Because it makes a zombie, and a 2/2 is larger than a 1/1.
And Walking Ballista for 0.
Yeah, make more zombies, whatever.
And Vengevine has haste, and that swings for 4. Okay.
Look at all this power.
Wait, why would you make the Endless One for 0 when it could be for 1? No, okay, I get it.
Because a 2/2
is just bigger.
Is bigger than a 1/1.
You just bin these cards. Okay, so there's 10 power in play. Nick's at 15. He's cast a Serum Visions.
I can do the math again.
Okay,
This is 10 power.
Go.
Nick can't even cast Attention Sphere yet. Can't even do that until next turn.
Okay, this is fun.
If he does that, the Vengevine's almost lethal.
Sure.
You need to have like Path now, Detention Sphere next turn, and then there's still more stuff happening.
This is so good.
Can flashback Faithless Looting on this turn.
Nick's all right. So here's 10 power. He's fetch shocking for a Blood Crypt. What have we got for 3 mana in here?
Probably flashback Faithless Looting. Mostly 2-mana spells.
Liliana Heretical Healer.
No, there's a card.
No.
There's 2.
Why not?
It plays really well with 0-mana creatures. It would transform immediately.
All right, looks like we're going to flashback. Oh, we're delving.
Ooh.
We're delving. Is this the Sibsig, the Muck Draggers? Oh, yeah, Sibsig Muck Draggers. Yeah, Nick's going to read that one.
How do you not know Sibsig Muck Draggers?
This is a great rate. A 3-mana 3/6 that brings back Endless One. Oh, he's just going to bin that and get another zombie.
It's got to be one of the top 5 Gravediggers ever printed.
And paths away the Vengevine. Nick takes 6, go to 9. Now, is there a reason that Paul needs to make the Vengevine, needs to Endless One for 0 right now, or is he just showing off?
That one is a little bit aggressive. 3, 4, 5. His attack was already lethal, and he's exposing more to Detention Sphere.
Okay,
that play I'm not super on board for.
Well, I don't... Nick's got a Supreme Verdict in hand.
That one's a little slow. This is a turn 4 kill we're looking at.
Yeah. Oh, this is good. I won't play this deck. It's just passes. No Detention Sphere. All right. Got some lethal attackers. The Sibsig and 4 zombies. And we have Driven to Despair. We're going to take a look at that card. And Nick's going to scoop. All right, until end of turn, creatures you control gain trample, and whenever they deal combat damage, draw a card.
Yep.
And then the Despair half, the Aftermath. Until end of turn, creatures you control gain menace, and then they gain
when they
the other
damage
half.
your opponent.
They discard a card.
Yeah. A lot of value in that card.
Paul Conlin putting on a show. Nick was just had 1 ticket to watch it.
I like this deck a lot.
All right. We're going to see another game of that. We need an encore performance for that one. We'll be back to talk about sideboards in Game 2 and after just this message. So we are back here in the 8-2 bracket. Nick Cowden just got hit by a truck of a deck there, game one, by Paul Conlin. More like a horde of zombies, a Vengevine, a Sibsig Muck Dragger.
That one really sealed it, that Muck Dragger.
All right, let's look at Nick's sideboard. He's got to do something. All right, 2 Condemn, 2 Negate, 2 Kitchen Finks, a 1 of Dispel, Ruined Halo, Gideon, Ally of Zendikar, Stony Silence, Disdainful Stroke, Settle the Wreckage, Relic of Progenitus. I bet he wants that one. Surgical Extraction and Crucible of Worlds.
Yeah, a couple nice tools available. Settle the Wreckage, Relic of Progenitus, Surgical Extraction, that stuff all plays here. You can reach for a few other cards. I guess I don't mind Kitchen Finks against a Vengevine deck. Kind of into Condemn against that.
I kind of just want, with how fast Paul presented, I feel like anything that's lowering my mana curve I'm into.
Yep, I like Ruined Halo against Vengevine.
Or against zombie tokens. I mean, goodness.
I don't believe you can name tokens.
We can't name tokens. They're not cards.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still in against Vengevine.
Still have some tools.
Settle the Wreckage. I think that's good.
That one's great.
Surgical.
Yeah, why not? Hits Vengevine, hits Bridge.
All right. On Paul's side, 4 Leyline of the Void, 3 Thoughtseize, 2 Abrupt Decay, 2 Blood Moon, 2 Ingot Chewers, and a Reclamation Sage. I guess he could Thoughtseize his opponent if you'd like.
Yeah, Thoughtseize is kind of the card you're looking at, the modern force of will, if you will.
That's so generous.
I think it has the same effect on Modern. Like you can put this card in your deck and you'll win some matches because you're playing Thoughtseize.
Yeah, I like how Force of Will gets my opponent's mana, and I have to pay for the Thoughtseize. That's.
I mean, pitching 2 cards in Modern is so bad.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Thoughtseize is just a better card in Modern than Force of Will would be.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're not really looking at too much sideboarding here, and this figures to be a reasonable matchup for Paul.
Paul mulliganing to 5. Nick's on 6 cards. You know, I do actually have a question on that. So Force of Will, we have seen with some of these Jace decks online next week that people might want to try to play Force of Will in Modern. I'm seeing Disrupting Shoal getting some play. The idea is you tap out for Jace, you shoal their answer, and then you get to have Jace.
So I've seen some high praise for Disrupting Shoal. Corey Burkhart in particular is pretty big on the card. Personally, I need to be sold on it. I am not convinced that's where you want to be.
All right.
I
like free cards.
I'm more into just having a combo deck featuring Jace. And maybe once I'm there, I can have Disrupting Shoal, but the Faradex plus Shoal, I think you're giving up a lot of equity, and you're probably losing to every Bloodbraid Elf deck.
All right, so Nick's kept on 6, Paul on 5. Paul starts with Insolent Neonate, discards Bridge from below to the Neonate. And yes, you get a zombie with that play.
That's fun.
I had to think about it for a second. Be like, wait, no, it's in the yard. Okay, yeah. Judge is going to go ahead and confirm on this one. Yeah, that works.
Ooh. This deck just got like 5% better.
And passes. Condemn picked up for Nick. He'll make a second land and search for Escanta. So he'll take a bit of damage here. Paul hits with the zombie, puts Nick to 18. Second land, he looks like he has Hangerback Walker in hand. He'll just pass. Could make Walker on 1, but just nah.
Might be hanging out with the Grizzly Salvage on the end step.
Okay.
If you can get 2 bridges, it's a lot better to start casting your zeros.
Do you think he ever casts those 12 guys for anything but 0?
Walking Ballista, maybe. Hanging Back Walker in certain matchups. Like, if you just have 2 mana, like obviously you're going to make Walking Ballista, and if you want the zombie token, you just fire it off. Yeah,
that's easy. But with Hangerback Walker,
I would be surprised to see hardcast Endless one. That one probably almost never happens.
Well, I guess you don't always have Bridge from below. You only have 4.
Yeah.
So Nick plays a Temple here. Ooh, that is my kind of greedy right there. He's 2-color deck. Just, 2 Hallowed Fountain, 2 Glacial Fortress, 1 Temple of Enlightenment. But here's Grizzly Salvage from Paul. Top 5 cards, gets a creature or land. All the rest go in the graveyard. And this is a really nice card with Vengevine. So he gets Reclamation Sage. And he bins some cards. He bins a Vengevine and the Aftermath of Driven to Despair.
And picks up Reclamation Sage. That one likely coming in to hit primarily Rest in Peace, but it does take care of Search for Escanta.
Gather the Pack. He has Spell Mastery here with Grizzly Salvage and Driven to Despair. So this is another one. Top 5. He gets to choose up to 2 cards.
Well, he has in this Gather the Pack the potential to get the Vengevine back just if he took the 2 Walking Ballistas. Only takes 1, gets a second Reclamation Stage, though. Okay.
Hangerback on 0. Makes a zombie. Nick's just, okay, what's happening, man?
That resolves.
Sure. Okay, Hangerback on 0.
That
Trigger
also
Vengevine.
resolves.
Zombie. Okay. You're doing things.
Nick's at the ready with Condemn for the Vengevine.
Yeah, he does have Condemn into Supreme Verdict. So actually, Nick does have this covered. Here's a swing. Condemn will hit Vengevine. That's to the bottom of the deck. Nick takes 2. And Paul here made a Hangerback Walker. He committed I think 1 more zombie than perhaps he needed to. Now, I don't know with his deck. It might be the kind of thing, Ryan, where these resources are throwaway anyway.
I think that that's probably not the case. You don't really have ways to get these 0-mana creatures back. There's nothing that's doing that. And also, when you cast Faithless Looting, you're going down a card every time.
Yeah.
I would like to be able to make zombies after you get swept.
Supreme Verdict cleans up the board for now. We see Reclamation Stage blow up Search for Escanta. We go back to Nick. He has, as his remaining cards, Detention Sphere, Island, and Snapcaster Mage. So a lot to like on Nick's side. Sage is cast for Paul. Remember, you mentioned he has another Sage in his hand.
If Nick can get that Snapcaster Mage on the table and then find another Supreme Verdict and get it off the table, he can exile the bridges.
There's looks like 2 copies of Walking Ballista and the Reclamation Sage in Paul's hand. So he's going to go ahead and make a Walking Ballista. Actually, no. It's going to just bin it, get a zombie. Swings for 2.
Given that the blue-white control deck's typically going to be exiling your Ballista, it makes sense to make the 2-2 over it.
So that's Hangerback. He's going to make a 1-1 Ballista. He made a 0-0 Hangerback and then passes.
Now, this is just worth more damage.
Cryptic Command, the pickup for Nick Cowden.
Typically, you're going to be pretty happy to draw that one, and this does not seem to be an exception.
Back over to Paul. He's got Nick down to 14 for 2 mana. He'll go ahead and cast Despair. This is the Aftermath on Driven to Despair. His creatures will gain Menace, and when they connect this turn, Nick will have to discard a card. Now, Nick has a pretty good counter to this with Cryptic Command.
Yeah, I would like to tap all of your creatures before they can attack me. Functionally gets to counter the Despair and draw a card on top of it.
Yeah, and it's better than countering because he now doesn't take damage.
Right.
It is combat damage, in case you're wondering whether or not Walking Ballista could just be sacrificed to make Nick discard. The answer to that is no.
That would be quite the combo.
Yeah, I guess otherwise you would just...
Here's my 4/4 Ballista.
Could get your hand.
And Mind Twist you.
Surgical Extraction for Nick. He's going to get Bridge from below from Paul's graveyard. All the ones out of his deck. The remaining cards in Paul's hand are Walking Ballista and Reclamation Sage. And he gets to see that, yes, Blood Moon has come in out of the sideboard. That's some relevant knowledge for Nick. I'm a little surprised to see Blood Moon here against a 2-color deck.
Yeah, the deck plays a fair amount of non-basics. You know, Celestial Colonnades are a really good card. And
maybe you could surprise Nick. I think now that Nick has seen them in your deck, I don't know if this goes to 3, whether or not Paul will want to keep them around.
Right, 5 islands and 3 planes in the deck. You can certainly aggressively fetch for those. Small critique on the timing of the Surgical. It's a free effect. You can do it whenever you want.
You want to do it during draw step?
You don't really need to do it on Paul's turn while you're tapped out. You know, you could find a better spot for that. But getting the bridges out is good.
Again, modern classic players, you are timed in the round.
Draw for Nick. He has Snapcaster Mage, Path to Exile, Detention Sphere. That should be enough tools to keep him alive for a while.
Yeah, buys plenty of time with that. And Conlin kind of out of gas.
Yeah, well, he has a 4th land, so now I can start putting counters on Walking Ballista, but that might just be his play. Here's a swing. It's for 5. That should force action on Nick. He doesn't want to go too much lower than the 12 he's already at.
And with 4 lands and multiple green sources, Paul can cast Vengevines off the top, which is useful.
Yeah. If I'm in Nick's spot, I don't want to use the Snapcaster just yet because I'd really like to Snapcast Cryptic Command.
Yeah, and also once you've Surgicaled away the bridges, there's less value in getting the Snapcaster on the table.
Yeah. So Path to Exile will be shot over at Walking Ballista. I actually like that. That forces some action on Paul's side is whether or not he wants a land or to go ahead and deal more damage. He shoots Nick for 1. Decides to sacrifice in response. He didn't put a second counter on, so it looks like he has some other play he'd like to make with his mana. Nick to 11. Does Nick go down to 7? Looks like he does, and Walking Ballista on 2 for Paul.
It's a full extra counter. And that makes it so he has a lethal attack next turn. That forces some action. The attack itself, 1 shy lethal. The Walking Ballista cleans up from there.
Gideon of the Trials. Drawn for Nick Cowden.
That's big Gideon.
That's Gideon Jura.
That's good Gideon. Paul has exactly enough damage to clean that up if he throws the Ballista at it.
Gideon's going to... I always think of this as the taunt move. He taunts the attackers.
And plussing the Ballista up to 3 makes it so you get to clean that up and then some.
Yeah, I like that move where Paul makes his Ballista into a 3/3, attacks for 7, shoots Gideon once. And that's the play he's going to make. Ballista goes up to a 3/3, so Gideon's down to 1. And Ballista will finish it off. So Gideon really turns into a fog here. Nick tapped all his mana, then Paul tapped all his mana, then we're going to go back to Nick.
Yep. Nick's going to want an answer to this Walking Ballista, though. From 7, that's a scary spot.
Glacial Fortress, Snapcaster, Supreme Verdict.
That'll do it.
2 damage up to Nick. Walking Ballista. He's down to 5, but the board's clean again. Just Detention Sphere left in the control player's hand. We look to Paul to produce another threat.
He'd like to start just drawing Vengevines. Just cast this big haste monster.
Well, he drew Grizzly Salvage, so maybe there's some Vengevines.
You can convert that into Vengevines.
Gather the Pack, Endless One, Vengevine, Gather the Pack, Endless One. So, yeah, takes an Endless One for his hand, puts the other ones in the graveyard. Maybe he can get one of those Vengevines back this turn. Shocks down to 18. Looks like that's what he's going to do.
It still has Reclamation Sage.
Sage, no targets. Endless One for 0. Vengevine comes back. He's got Nick down to 1.
Love it. Detention Sphere can only answer one of these. Nick needs the top deck, and he missed.
He missed. That's a land. Detention Sphere can't save him here. This should be it. Paul Conlin with Bridgevine. He's still in top 8 contention. 2-0. Defeats blue-white control, and he moves on to 9-2.
I officially know who I'm rooting for in this tournament.
Oh, yeah.
This deck is awesome.
Great.
I am a pretty big fan of Vengevine. It's a card that has really struggled to find footing in Modern. There's been some spots where Dredge has gotten better and worse, but Vengevine was never quite good enough as the flavor.
Yeah, I mean, so I was saying that I'd played a Grizzly Salvage deck. If you go back to Pro Tour Return to Ravnica, there were a lot of players playing these Dredge decks where it was like Lotleth Trolls and Vengevines. This is cooler. This is way more explosive.
Lotleth Troll consistently underwhelms as a Magic card. It looks like it does everything you want to do, but 2 is actually a lot of mana.
Yeah, at the time it was a zombie for Gravecrawler. It was a much slower deck. This has so much more speed to it.
You know what's a better deal than 2?
0.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what that deck's doing. So we recognize there's some audio issues on the stream right now. So we're going to go ahead and go off the air while we fix them. When we come back, it's going to be round number 11. We still have 4 more rounds to go, and then we'll have our top 8. So we're not going off the air permanently, but we're just going to fix some issues. So join us when we come back, or we'll be round 11 of the Philadelphia Open, and see you then.
StarCityGames.com Creature Collection presents a Krogan Crusader. Starting in December, get sleeves, playmats, player bundles, and more at go.starcitygames.com/creature collection. The StarCityGames.com Creature Collection presents String Theory. Get sleeves, playmats, player bundles, and more at go.starcitygames.com/creature collection.
The SCG Tour is brought to you by StarCityGames.com, where you can now order Rivals of Ixalan boxes, cases, bundles, combo packs, and more. Visit us at StarCityGames.com and order your Rivals of Ixalan products today.
The StarCityGames.com Creature Collection presents The Fast and the Curious. Get sleeves, playmats, bringing friendly competition and exclusive prizes to stores worldwide. Game Night features The Fast and the Curious tokens and pins all throughout February. Head to go.starcitygames.com/game night and find a store near you.
The SCG Tour is brought to you by StarCityGames.com, where you can now order Ixalan boxes, cases, bundles, combo packs, and more. Visit us at StarCityGames.com and order your Ixalan products today.
Meet the newest addition to the StarCityGames.com pre-release exclusive creature collection, the Flight Stuff. Get your local store involved today. Visit go.starcitygames.com/pre-release to find out how. The StarCityGames.com Creature Collection presents String Theory. Get sleeves, playmats, player bundles, and more at go.starcitygames.com/creature collection. StarCityGames.com Creature Collection presents A Krogan Crusader. Starting in December, get sleeves, playmats, player bundles, and more at go.starcitygames.com/creature collection.
The SCG Tour is brought to you by StarCityGames.com, where you can now order Rivals of Ixalan boxes, cases, bundles, combo packs, and more. Visit us at StarCityGames.com and order your Rivals of Ixalan products today.
The StarCityGames.com Creature Collection presents The Fast and the Curious. Get sleeves, playmats, bringing friendly competition and exclusive prizes to stores worldwide. Game night features the Fast and the Curious tokens and pins all throughout February. Head to go.starcitygames.com/game night and find a store near you.
The SCG Tour is brought to you by StarCityGames.com, where you can now order Ixalan boxes, cases, bundles, combo packs, and more. Visit us at StarCityGames.com and order your Ixalan products today.
Anthony on the play for game 2. He's on a 6-card hand. Levi is on 7. Normally in this control mirror, I like blue-white, except the fact that Jeskai just has so much more threats here, and Anthony has a lot more wheel spinning.
I think that the issue is actually blue-white has kind of gone more and more towards a tap-out control deck. Detention Sphere, Ruined Halo. And
those don't play.
Exactly. To beat Through to Breach, you need to be heavy on counter spells.
Yeah, I agree. He's got a lot of cards that, I'm not sure how good Supreme Verdict is here. In fact,